What's up, it's your boy L.Dre back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about 5 ways to promote your music with a bit of money. Now, I did a video like this a few years ago, and it was 5 ways to promote your music free or low budget, and with that I went over all the free ways to get your music heard, which I've been utilizing my whole career. If you happen to be new to this channel, my name is L.Dre, aka the Lo-Fi Guy. I've gotten well over 200 million streams, and I've gone viral a bunch of times on social media, blah blah blah. You can find all my links in the bio if you want to know if I'm credible or not, but for the people that know already, let's just get right into it. Number 1, invest in visuals. As you should be well aware of already, content is king in today's music industry. I'm sorry, I know a lot of us hate it, but it is what it is. So once you have a good song on your hand, I think the most important thing you can do with your budget is to start making good content in visuals. Now by visuals, I mean like the artwork for your song or album or whatever, like a cool Spotify canvas. If you're doing lo-fi, maybe you get some animations made or something like that. If you're an artist and you rap or sing, I'd highly recommend making a bunch of small little vertical music videos. Take 4Bats and Infinity Song for example. Content like that seems to be going a very long way, especially if you're just doing the same song over and over again. Your hook, your verse, your bridge, and a bunch of different settings with like high quality looking videos. That really seems to be the wave right now. And now I personally do prefer the DIY method. You know, I've been doing it all myself, but I was fortunate enough to kind of grow up in like a creative environment, at least as far as the internet goes. I've always been interested in shooting photos, shooting videos, editing content, all that kind of stuff. So if you are willing to put in the time to learn how to do this stuff, it might not cost you anything except for the initial investment in maybe buying some camera gear and some editing software or something like that. But if you got the music now and you're ready to go and you just don't have the time and you do have a little bit of money on you, I'd highly recommend to not skimp out on the visuals. If your content is good, you might not even have to worry about paying to promote anything because content alone can go viral. Trust me, I've done it a bunch of times. Look at people like Nick D, who I've interviewed, and he says he doesn't spend money on ads. It's all just organic content, and that's how he does his thing. But what works for one person doesn't work for everybody. But that being said, the content and the visual statement lead me directly into number 2, which is social media ads. So there are plenty of platforms to run ads on. Some of the most popular are Instagram and TikTok right now. You can also do YouTube or Facebook. It's really up to you. But I have a little bit of experience with all of these, but trust me, I am no expert. So I am definitely at a point in my career where I would much rather hire somebody to do these ads for me, because when you start running ads on social media, let me tell you something. If you don't know exactly what you're doing, you will start wasting money fast. So that's why me personally, I would like to take myself out of the equation. I've spent a lot of money on social media ads and the results have been very hit or miss, and I'm sure I've wasted hundreds of dollars on useless ads. But that being said, there are tons of resources online here on YouTube that go in full detail teaching you step by step how to run ads for your music. I'll leave a link in the description for some of the resources that I've actually used that have worked for me. But like I mentioned, this phase also heavily relies on the first phase, which is visuals. Gone are the days of slapping your song behind a picture of your cover art and running an ad on it and expecting it to do numbers. I mean, maybe that worked in the past, but these days it doesn't. So if you already made some really good content for your music and you've already posted it, and maybe some of them are already doing organically well, at least in comparison to your other content or something like that, that's usually a good heads up to be like, okay, this post is perfect for ads. That's something I kind of learned from Gary Vee. He always tells brands that you post stuff organically, and if something pops off, then you just go hard on ads with that specific post. So that personally would be my strategy, but I'm gonna offer 2 disclaimers right now. The first being, when you think about running ads for your music, you might just want to adjust your mindset away from like direct ROI, which means return on investment, because you might spend $200 on this Instagram ad and you get X amount of clicks and then they go stream your song. But come on, we're not even getting a penny per stream. You're never gonna make your money back for the ad directly, but overall the point of running ads is so that you can just get a little boost, and maybe the Spotify algorithm will see that and it'll juice you up a little bit. Like, it's all about the domino effects. So don't even think about making money back from these ads, because it's really just brand awareness, honestly. And one more disclaimer is, I do not run social media ads anymore, for my music at least. I prefer to just go organic and let it be. But in number 3, I will tell you where I do spend most of my marketing budget for my major releases. Before that though, let's get a quick word about our channel sponsor, DistroKid. So if you don't know what DistroKid is, I talk about it all the time, but personally to me, it is the best way to get your music on all streaming platforms really fast. I'm talking next day type stuff. It's crazy. For just $22.99 a year, you can upload unlimited songs to all streaming platforms. Not just Apple Music or Spotify, it also includes things like Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat, which are huge platforms for growing your fan base. If you look at any of my releases in the past several years, most of them were through DistroKid unless I released with a label or something like that. So you can take my word for it, they're dope. And if you use my affiliate link in the description, you can get 7% off your first year, and your boy also gets a little kickback. Not only are you helping yourself distribute your music quickly, you're also helping my little old channel. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to DistroKid. Let's get back on to number 3. All right, so number 3 is something that I personally spend a good bulk of my budget on, and that is Spotify campaigns. So if you have enough consistent listeners on Spotify, you should have access to 2 forms of advertisements directly in the Spotify for Artists platform. And those are Spotify Marquee and Showcase. I've used Spotify Marquee for almost all of my major releases, and I've seen some solid results. And because I'm the transparency king, I'm gonna take you and show you some of those results right now. This is the most recent one I did for my single LD. Pretty much when you go, this is what it looks like. If you've ever been on Spotify and seen something like this pop up and say, new music for you or whatever, that's what it is. That's a Spotify marquee. There's a few different types of audiences that you can target. It's moderate, light, and previously active. These are super important. And moderate are people who listen to your music a bunch in the past 28 days. Light is maybe they listen a couple of times in the last 28 days. And previous are people who used to listen to your music but haven't intentionally streamed it in the last 28 days, but they might still be interested. You know, they're not gone forever. So I've tested both of these. I lean more towards previously active and light, mostly because one would assume that your moderate listeners that are listening to you a lot will see your new release organically and probably listen. It's not guaranteed, but those are the options. And I believe the minimum spend is like $200. So for this, I did $500. I usually do $500. And this is honestly, this and artwork is pretty much all I personally spend money on. But that is because I know how to make content. I've been doing all this for a long time. Here are the results, okay? Nearly 8,000 people saw the campaign. Over 1,000 people clicked it. Now it goes on to tell you all these other things, which is cool. Performance details is the important stuff, right? So converted listeners. So 480 people that clicked it have been converted into listeners. So that's just saying that out of the 1,192 people that clicked it, 480 people actually went and listened to the song. And yeah, so previously active audience is the one I usually focus on. So 388 people were previously active. So that's actually pretty good. Now, I won't bog you down with all of these percentages and stuff. That's not what this video is about. If you want like a separate video just on this, I could let you know. But yeah, 199 saves, pretty good. And 47 of the people went and listened to other songs. So did I make that $500 back? Hell no. But at the very least, 388 people were like, oh, L.Dre, I haven't heard bro in a while. Let me check him out. They checked me out. 200 of them saved the song, and 47 of them went and listened to more of my catalog. You know, pretty good. And I can show you, I believe I've done only one showcase. So showcase is dope because there's a lot of different options for it. So for example, I did this one for Snowfi. I spent $200 and it got 500 clicks, which is pretty good. 17,000 people saw it. But showcase shows your song on Spotify and you can kind of put whatever you want. The cool thing about this is you can do any old single. So if I say like, let's say Nami's song or whatever, boom. So it looks like this. You might like, but you can also change that to releasing music soon, new music, getting buzz. And then obviously for the Snowfi one, I put seasonal vibes because, you know, holidays and whatnot. But yeah, you can customize the audience as well. You can do the active audience, super listeners, all that kind of stuff. And you can see the price right here, set your budget, blah, blah, blah. So that one's dope too. I just don't have as much experience with it, so I'm not putting too much money into it yet. But essentially, that is what I've been spending my money on when it comes to marketing. And the reason why I do this over Facebook ads is, like I said, if you don't know what you're doing, you start wasting money. 2, picture yourself as a listener. You're already on Spotify with the intention to listen to music. So you pull out your phone, you open it up, and you see that, and you're like, oh, okay, new L.Dre. Haven't heard from him from a while. You click it, now you're listening to L.Dre. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to Instagram, it's like, okay, I'm on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. I'm on that to just consume content and just like have a good time. I see an ad. I might be way less likely to click the ad, go to whatever link it says, pick one of the platforms that I use, then go into a whole nother app and then stop everything I'm doing and listen to that song. Now, as far as the cost, I'm not the guy to compare like how much it costs with Facebook, Instagram ads, or TikTok ads versus the Spotify thing. But if you're prioritizing Spotify like me, this could be the way to go. Do your own research, of course. That one took a little longer than I anticipated, so let's speed run the next 2. Number 4 is using Submit Hub. Now, I would never recommend paying to get your music into playlists because 99% of the time, those are scams. Just don't do it. You see all these accusations and complaints on the internet about people's music being taken down for bot streams. They're putting your song in a playlist that's just filled with bots, and the next you know, Spotify's like giving you a warning or taking your music down or something like that. So I would stay clear of anything that says pay to play, pay to playlist. But Submit Hub, on the other hand, is more legitimate, right? So pretty much what you do is you buy some credits and then you use those credits to submit to these different playlists and different blogs. And what's cool about it is it also shows stats about like how many listeners these playlists are getting. So that way you can actually verify like if this playlist is legit. It could just be dead with a bunch of followers and stuff like that. So you can actually get some analytics from this. I personally don't use this at all anymore, but I have in the past, especially when I was coming up. One word of advice would be, if you're going to submit to a blog or a playlist, make sure you go to that playlist and go to that blog or whatever, listen to all the music that's in that, and be 100% sure that your music can fit that vibe or they just won't accept you, okay? Like I've submitted to a bunch and I've only gotten into like maybe 3 in my whole life that I've ever used this. So people are very particular on the sounds that they want in those playlists. So if you go and listen to it and you're a little on the fence if the vibe fits, just don't, bro. You're gonna waste your money. Cause like even for me, for like lo-fi example, a lot of these playlists are more on the lo-fi girl side of lo-fi. You know me, I like my drums to hit. So I was just hitting a dead end when I was submitting my tracks back in the day, and the only ones that got into a playlist were the more softer lo-fi girl type of sound. So if you're gonna do that, just keep that in mind. But this could be worth like throwing like maybe 50 to 100 bucks of your budget into this. Maybe even sometimes I probably just spend like $20 for some credits, you know? On to number 5, last but not least, influencer marketing. Now, influencer marketing is basically paying somebody who has a lot of followers to either promote your music directly, promote your merch, or to just use your song in a video on like TikTok or Instagram Reels or something like that, and give you credit in hopes that people will see that and start using the sound themselves. Trickle effect, boom, next thing you know, you got a viral song. Now, I put this last for a reason. Let's start with the positives, because if you have a lot of money and you work with the right influencers and you're very strategic and you plan it out well, this could potentially change your life. But at the end of the day, it all depends on the influencer you choose, but most importantly, it depends on the song. Because quite frankly, there's a lot of luck involved. Let me give you a little story time example, okay? So I personally have a bunch of songs on TikTok and Instagram Reels that have hundreds of thousands of videos made to them. Obviously, my main claim to fame, my Lo-Fi Steven Universe song, has like 10 million videos made to it. None of those videos I paid a dime to anyone, okay? So it was just all organic. Obviously, back when I posted the original songs, you know, whatever content I made at the time went viral. So people liked the song, they asked me for it, they're streaming it on the streaming platforms, and they're using the sound in the background of their videos. Most of the time it's all organic, and I can't even single out who started, you know, the trends or whatever. But there was a time back in the day when I used to do all these dancey type of things where this one influencer pretty much made a whole dance trend to my song, and it went crazy. So I built up a relationship with them, and I would send them all my remixes and stuff like that, and they would use them, and a few times that's really what started kicking things off. But then I had a song that I really believed in, but it wasn't a remix. So when I hit them up about it, they said I'd have to pay, and I'm like, you know what, fair enough. So I ended up paying $1,000 for the person to use the song in their video, and the video did okay, and maybe 100 people used the sound afterwards, but 100 people using your song on TikTok is not enough to move any needle or do anything at all, really. But what I will say is I wouldn't consider it a ripoff, because like I said, this same influencer has made, at this point, at least 3 of my songs go viral, just like organically. So I knew they had the potential. So in reality, it could have been the type of content she did maybe wasn't the move, maybe my song wasn't the move, like who knows? There's so many factors. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is influencer marketing, it could be life-changing, but it's just a huge gamble, bro. Remember that classical lo-fi album I did with UMG? They had a sizable budget for influencer marketing. I saw all the influencer posts that were paid and all that kind of stuff. Didn't really do anything, honestly. Would I say they wasted that money on that? Maybe, honestly, yeah. I would say, you know, if they just gave me that money, I probably could have, I don't know, did a little something better than what happened, because none of the songs that were being promoted went viral on TikTok or anything like that. So, but in an alternate world, maybe 1 or 2 of those went viral and the song just took off crazy. It's gambling, bro. So bottom line, if you have the money and you've already exhausted all those other options, this could be something. But do your own research, be smart, and make sure the song is like viral ready. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like that was a lot of talking. You know your boy doesn't write scripts. So yeah, I hope you learned something. If you need any help with this, I did make a music marketing masterclass. I'll leave the link. Tons of gems in there. I highly recommend it. It's an hour long of me just taking you step by step through everything I did to get to where I am. But yeah, good luck on your music career. I'm rooting for you. Just honestly, don't give up and you'll get somewhere, I'm telling you. The only people that fail are the people who fail. You know what I'm saying? But all right, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.